guys, and welcome to another battle report. So for this one I playing my Warriors of Dark Gods, which is another Warriors of Dark Gods player, and we play Diagonal Deployment and Break 2 as secondary scenario. And to go through his list, he have 5 Barbarian Horseman Riders, Mark of Lust, then he got 2 Hellscream Cannon, a unit of Chosen of Change. Then he got a big Barbarian Horde of Wrath with great weapons. Also in there he got his BSB. And then he got behind his whole line a unit of Barbarian Horseman Rider, also Lust, a unit of Chosen of Change, and finally his General. The General got the Pickaxe, he got a 1-up, he got the Buffer's Arm, so reroll 2 wounds, and a 4-up Ward Save. Well, my opponent dropped everything to get the first turn, and my thinking was this piece of water terrain is very uncomfortable for someone to get the diagonal deployment on this flank, but I think it's kind of to my advantage because I don't really want to face off his great weapon Wrath Barbarians without damage them severely first, so I'm pretty okay with this terrain feature, so I deployed everything behind the water. And yeah, to go through my army, I got the Hellscream Cannon, then I got the Chimera, a unit of 8 dogs to fill out my core, I got the Giant, Wrath, and then I got a unit of Barbarians with throwing weapon, Lust, and then I got a Caster. He is a Wizard Master, Shamanism, 4 spells. In front of that I got a Mauler Chariot. I love that. I think it's such a good unit. I don't know why. Not so many players plays, but I think it's awesome. I will definitely fix another one. And then I got a Triscutus. I forgot my War Shrine at home, so I had to proxy it some. Then I got another unit of Barbarians, also Lust. In there I got my BSB. He got no upgrades. I think I gave him a shield, but that's it. I then got a what is called now, a Blood Beast in front, another unit of 8 dogs, a Skull Crusher unit, and finally another Chariot. So basically he stayed back with most of his line his first turn. What he did do was kind of unfortunate. One of his Hellscream Cannon misfire and cannot shoot for the rest of the game. The other one killed one of my Skull Crushers, and he got off some missile from his Chosen onto my Chariot and did a wound to that one. So for my turn, basically I reposition everything. I would love to get my Skull Crushers into his Hellscream Cannon. They will make short work of that thing, but I'm pretty afraid of his Barbarian and maybe his Chosen as well. I think I can take his Chosen, but we will see. Otherwise I pretty much stay back. I want to have some shooting rounds with my Hellscream Cannon onto his Barbarian unit, so that's the plan. And this is kind of my other flank, repositioning everything, basically. Keep the Chimera up there to potentially threaten his fast cav, but that did push up my Mauler Chariot to potentially threaten his Chosen, who moving up forward. But that's basically my movement. In Magic I get off a Teutonic Summoning, use my Breath weapon to breath off 2 of his Barbarian Horsemen in this unit. I also have 2 Ambushing Fallen Beast and a ambushing unit of 20 Barbarians, Lust, throwing weapon with a Jarl in it. Well, for his turn, he moved up like this. Thanks to the water he cannot really get his Barbarian Horsemen too much forward because he cannot march through water terrain feature, but he moves his Lord up a bit. He also uses his other Barbarian Horseman unit to chaff up my Mauler Chariot from charging his Chosen, and that's his movement on this flank. I don't know what to do with his Flying Lord. I don't really have any good tools to handle that one, and he's flying, so we will see how I will handle that one. Well, this picture is turned the wrong way, but basically he landed a Hellscream shot into my barbarian unit, killing a bunch of them, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what he managed to do for his turn, basically. Well, for my turn, I shot my hounds into his barbarian horseman. I think I can do some damage towards him, hopefully. My blood beast charges a unit of barbarian horsemen. My plan there is, if I can roll high enough, I can overrun into his Hellscream cannon. If I roll lower, he will potentially have a charge with his chosen, but then I can he will overrun, kill my blood beast, and overrun into my skull crusher, and I can send in my chariot into that. So that would be good as well. If you charge with his barbarians, it will be a longer charge, but the same thing can apply. I don't know what to do there, to be honest. I think he will just wreak havoc, but then he will be out of position for the remaining of the game, even though I lost the blood beast and potentially the skull crusher to do so. But we will see what happened. I also sent in a Teutonic Summoning into the back of his Hellscream cannon, because if I overrun, I can fight that combat this turn, which is good, so my bloodies can both kill his Barbarian Horseman and his Hellscream cannon if I'm lucky enough. Well, he have in his previous turn sent on an ambushing unit onto my field, so I basically just turn around my giant, my chimera, and a unit of barbarians. Hopefully, even though we have gleaming, I will manage to kill a lot of them and hopefully cause them to panic off the board. Otherwise, I will just charge them with my barbarians and the chimera and will probably wipe them out that way. Another good thing that happened in my turn, my barbarian units come onto the board and they will just move up and throw axes at his working Hellscream cannon. Hopefully, if they can shoot some turn on it, they will be managed to kill it off. For combat, the Teutonic Summon actually did really good against the Hellscream cannon. We both did like a wound each. I have a charge and a rear, but he passed his break check. My blood beast kill off his barbarians horseman, but the overrun like 3 or 4 inches, so he just standing there. But you can see what I did. He have a card next to his barbarian unit, and I got off the break the spirit spell onto them. Thankfully, I got 2 of those with the war shrine and the wizard, which is good, so we couldn't stop them both, and that's really needed for my part to stop that unit. Well, you can see here he did a lot of charges. First off, his barbarian horseman broke my hounds this turn, and they charged them off the board. His lord charges my Hellscream cannon, and that's it basically. What did unfortunately happen when his barbarian horseman charges, that make room for his chosen to charge my mauling chariot, but I don't think that's a bad matchup for me, because a mauling chariot is so good, it can actually even grind down your opponent pretty well as well, and 6 wounds, high armor save, it's a brutal thing to have. Well, of course, in combat, with the pickaxe and everything, his lord manages to kill off my Hellscream cannon, fortunately. On this flank, his chosen kill off the blood beast and overrun into the skull crushers, and I think that's pretty good. Now I can just charge him with the chariot, and I will use my hounds to shove up his barbarians. The Mauler chariot goes to town with his chosen, killing a bunch of them, and he did only do 1 wound to me. He rolled pretty poorly, but he couldn't be able to get too many of his chosen into combat, and yeah, so yeah, I won this combat, but he sticks, and that was his turn. Well, so for my turn, Warshrine charges his barbarian horseman, who are in the way basically. Chimera charges the barbarians in front of there, as well as my other barbarian units to break his steadfast and make them run off the board. I used my giant in a pretty clever way, I think, because giant is large height, and it stopped his lord from being able to. I can reform my chimera after winning that combat, so his lord cannot see that. It will stop his lord from seeing the Mauler chariot or my barbarian unit or anything. He could see my war shrine, but then I will just flee with it. And that's basically my movement on this flank. And here you go, after killing off his barbarians. I think both of them run off the edge of the board, to be honest. So that's it for this combat. Well, up here I kill off his chosen, overrun into his cannon, use the hounds as chaff, and my other barbarian unit manages to shoot down his other Hellscream cannon, so that's really much appreciated. Well, I did manage to break off his barbarian horseman unit, didn't catch him, but he's only one guy remaining, and it will be hard for him to rally. So that's really good. The Mauler chariot grinds down more of his chosen. He only have 3 left, and I have taken 3 wounds, so I have half my wounds remaining, so that's really good. So for his turn, he had to charge the war shrine. I have to flee, so I bounce over his chosen, the impasse terrain, his barbarian. I roll some danger strain tests. I only suffered like 1 or 2 wounds, and I'm way over there in safety. And he did actually fail his redirection test, so he couldn't even charge the iron, so he just failed charged. Over here, his barbarian charges my hounds. I think either his barbarian horseman killed my giant in shooting, or he did get off the breath weapon spell onto his lord. No, he couldn't have used the breath weapon because he failed charge, so I guess his barbarian horseman killed off the giant with his throwing axes. I killed off his Hellscream cannon, he killed off my hounds, and we play my final turn as well. I think we're gonna play like 4 turns, and we're short on time. I scored the secondary objective because the Skull Crushers and the Barbarians were in his deployment zone, and which scored me. I also won by victory points, like a 13-7, I think, because in the end my Mauler chariot managed to kill off his chosen, which was also much appreciated. And that's the game. I hope you enjoyed this. So the first game went really good. You might recognize this army. I faced this before. This is not the same player actually. He actually borrowed a Warrior of the Dark Gods army for this tournament from the same guy I faced off last time. So anyway, have any comments, post them below. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. Feel free to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Have a nice one.